You're watching News 8 at 5:30 with Ann Nyberg, Darren Kramer, and Joe Fury.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. All right, how about that snow out there today? These snow showers around the state. For some of you, getting coated up and nice and white, and even in some cases a little bit slippery. Other places you haven't had too much. It is certainly a nice evening to head out to Lighthouse Point Park in New Haven for our Fantasy of Lights. A beautiful scene there with the wind not too bad. These snow showers are trying to fade away at the moment, but there's still a couple out there that are leaving their mark. And in the same spot, you guys here in around Wallingford, you had a pretty good snow shower go by earlier today, and there's one coming out of Waterbury now. It's done there. And right across routes 5, 15, 91, you can see the rest of the state. It's pretty much dying out. And so that's the idea over the next half an hour to 45 minutes. It's been a cold day out there. 20s across the interior, 30s along the coast. Look at Essex at 27 right now, 34 at Morris Cove, 35 at Niantic, 25 up at Harwinton. So overnight tonight, always watching out for the slippery spot. Temperatures hold steady for the most part, 20s to low 30s with, well, what might be the chance for the sun to come out a little bit tomorrow, but I think it's just cloudy. The big story tomorrow, we're going up into the 40s. Going to feel pretty good. With interior locations today that stayed in the 20s today, you might be able to sneak into the low 40s. Let's say the northern area stay in the 30s, but places like Hartford, at least around 40 or so. So it's dry during the day tomorrow into tomorrow evening. But this is our weekend weather that's coming up and in. We'll talk all about that in the 8-day forecast coming up.
We've had these in businesses around Norwich and in churches and here at the police department, and the boxes are getting empty quickly as we give away the free bulbs.
You see a lot of red and green lights around the holidays, but tonight we're talking about blue lights.
News 8's Tina Detel live in Norwich with the meaning behind Operation Blue Light. Tina.
Well, good evening. You know, the blue lights, you can see one right here, they're really just as pretty and festive as those red and green lights we see a lot during this holiday season. But you know what? The blue lights, we're seeing more and more of them pop up in windows throughout the city here, and they really do carry a special meaning with them. Since 2004, the Norwich Police Department chaplains have been giving away the blue bulbs for free through Operation Blue Light. You can find them in grocery stores around the city, at restaurants like Old Time Restaurant, Tully's, and Jack's Brick Oven Pizza. They're even at the police department. Now, the idea is that if you put one of the bulbs in an electric or battery-operated candle holder and put that in your window, you will show your support for Norwich Police as well as state police.
Law enforcement works so hard to keep everyone safe while they're enjoying the holidays. So this is a great time to spread some love around toward our local police department.
And they'll know what it means, right?
Yes, our officers know when they see a blue light in the window that family cares about them, supports them, and wants to let them know that.
Now, even if you don't live in Norwich, you're encouraged to take one of the bulbs, because then you can put it at your home and show support for your local law enforcement. Now, of course, during the holiday season, these bulbs are being given out again for free, and a lot of people have these candles in their windows. But they say if you want to put them in your window and turn them on year-round, that will show the police that you support them every day. We're live in Norwich. Tina Detel, News 8.
Crews are tearing down a piece of Elm City history. New Haven issued an emergency demolition order for the gatehouse of the old Yale and Quinnipiac breweries. News 8's Kent Pierce tells us why it's coming down.
Tony Grigo was up before the sun for one last chance to photograph the Brewery Square gatehouse.
I've been taking pictures for almost 50 years of buildings that I thought were going to be destroyed in New Haven.
In the 1880s, the complex was built as a brewery. In the 1980s, most of it was transformed into the Brewery Square apartments, but the gatehouse was left empty. And then
the roof collapsed due to snow a few years ago, which, of course, that could have been prevented by shoveling the snow off of the roof. And it has sat ever since.
The New Haven Preservation Trust got 1,500 people to sign an online survey to try to save the gatehouse because it is designated historic and it is in an historic district, but the Massachusetts-based company that owns it has other ideas.
The owner went to the Historic District Commission back in August for a certificate of appropriateness to demolish the building. They were denied.
Here's the thing, no matter how historic the building is, it is still private property. A spokesman for the city of New Haven says the city can urge and encourage private property owners to do certain things, but cannot force a private property owner to restore an historic building. The spokesman says what finally prevailed was the city's responsibility to ensure public safety and the growing concern that the deteriorating condition of the building was posing a public safety risk. So the city issued an emergency demolition order, and brick by brick, the gatehouse is coming down. Preservationists call it demolition by neglect.
Developers and people that own buildings let the buildings decay. That decay gets the building inspector and the fire chief in there and essentially have to tear the building down. Collector Robert Greenberg still has one of the bottles from the brewery and this iconic photo of two of the workers. Back then, Yale Brewing was a very famous company here in New Haven for beer. Now he hopes part of the brewery will become famous as an example of how not to preserve New Haven's history.
It's a shame what we've lost here in New Haven. And it's, I know the Preservation Trust does the best they can, but people call it progress.
That doesn't look like progress to you?
No, it doesn't.
In New Haven, I'm Kent Pierce, News 8.
Next month, New Haven becomes the football capital of the world. Collegiate, All-Americans, and NFL players will gather to pay tribute to the father of American football, Walter Camp. This year's Man of the Year honoree is Mike Golick, former Eagles player and current ESPN personality, stopped by CT Style today to talk about his award.
Because coaches pick this All-American team, and then obviously the foundation picks Man of the Year and Alumni of the Year and such. So it is a revered foundation amongst the football community of how much it's respected. So it is truly an honor to be considered the Man of the Year.
Walter Camp weekend is set for January the 10th. Part of the yearly celebration includes a visit to local hospitals by players and coaches.
A canned corn recall tonight. Next year at 5, we'll tell you which corn is being pulled off shelves here in Connecticut.
I'm Jocelyn Mamenta. In Your Health, a study focused on what's hanging around your doctor's neck that could be loaded with bacteria. I'm talking about a stethoscope.
Governor-elect Ned Lamont talks about the Infosys deal. I'm Chief Political Correspondent Mark Davis. I'll have that story coming up.